Lightning strike coordinates received.
Hello YouTube, my name is Nero and today we have some Call of Duty Black Ops 3 playing a bit of Kill Confirmed here on the map Combine. Run around here with the Weevil submachine gun, the infamous Weevil, the gun that people either seem to think is very good or people think is ridiculously underpowered depending on who you ask. I personally like the Weevil. It's one of my favorite guns of Black Ops 3. It has been since the beta. I feel as though it's in a pretty good place. I can understand why maybe people think it's a little bit underpowered, but for me personally, I think it's a pretty good overall submachine gun. And hopefully you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy some Weevil gameplay because I have some breaking news hot off the presses. Ladies and gentlemen, turns out Call of Duty is not dying, contrary to popular belief, or at least contrary to the opinion of the vocal minority. Call of Duty is not dying, it is actually thriving, and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was the best-selling game of 2015. If you guys would like to go ahead and check out the link down there in the video description that I'm using as a source for this, it'll take you over to VG247, where they list the top 10 games in terms of sales for 2015, and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was in fact at the top of that list. Number 2 was Madden 16, number 3 was Fallout 4, number 4 was Star Wars Battlefront, number 5 was GTA 5 for the PS4, Xbox One, 360, PS3, and PC, of course. Number 6 was NBA 2K16, number 7 was Minecraft for console, number 8 was Mortal Kombat 10, number 9 was FIFA 16, and rounding things off here at number 10, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which interestingly enough, that means that 2 of the top 10 best-selling games of 2015 were Call of Duty games, right? Of course, with Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare. I think that's super interesting. I think this is going to silence a lot of the haters out there who think Call of Duty is dying or Call of Duty is a dead game. Would a dead game be the best-selling game of 2015? And in fact, I went back and did a bunch of research on this. It turns out Call of Duty being the best-selling game of the year is a pretty common trend ever since 2009. So the best-selling game of 2009 was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. In 2010, it was Call of Duty Black Ops. In 2011, it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. In 2012, it was Call of Duty Black Ops 2. In 2013, however, GTA 5 was the best-selling game, but it was followed up with Call of Duty Ghosts at number 2. In 2014, we had Call of Duty Advanced Warfare as the best-selling game. And of course, in 2015, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was the best-selling game of all the games in the land. And I think that's really interesting. I didn't actually know that. Going back, I knew that Call of Duty was a ridiculously popular franchise and that it sold well every single year. But going back, like the last time that Call of Duty wasn't actually very popular was in 2007 and 2008 with Call of Duty 4 and World at War. Ever since Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty has been the best-selling game, or at least close to the best-selling game. 6 of the past 7 years, in fact, Call of Duty was the best-selling game. And the one year they weren't the best-selling game, again, 2013, was when GTA 5 came out and Call of Duty was number 2. Right, so that's really interesting to me. There's a lot of people out there that are saying COD is dying or COD's a dead game, and it's important to remember with these sales numbers that a bad year for Call of Duty is still an amazing year for any other gaming franchise out there. So Modern Warfare 3, I believe, was the best-selling Call of Duty game ever. So obviously the next year, Black Ops 2, while it still sold well, it didn't sell as well as Modern Warfare 3 because Modern Warfare 3, I think, has the record for the best-selling Call of Duty game. So when people saw that, they saw that the sales numbers were down X amount of percent. People are making these sensational articles like, oh, look at this, with Black Ops 2, sales figures were down 20% as compared to Modern Warfare 3 at this time of the year last year, and just so on and so forth. There's a lot of these sensationalized articles going out, but in reality, Black Ops 2 was selling just fine. It just wasn't selling nearly as good as the best-selling Call of Duty game ever, right? And it still got the best-selling game of 2012 that year. And then, of course, the same thing happened with Call of Duty Ghosts. You know, it didn't sell nearly as good, but at the same time, it was the number 2 game that year. Advanced Warfare didn't sell as good, and it was still the number 1 game that year. And, of course, Black Ops 3's best-selling game this year. You need to remember, and I think this is what a lot of people out there who are making that opinion or making that assumption that Call of Duty is dying or it's a dead game or so on and so forth, is that just because Call of Duty isn't breaking its own records every year doesn't mean it's not having great years year in and year out. A comparison I would like to give you guys is a comparison for like a sports team, right? So take an NFL team that has won 6 of the past 7 Super Bowls, and the one Super Bowl they didn't win, they also made it to the Super Bowl, they just lost, therefore they came in second place. You know, would you say that that's a bad team? I don't think anybody would say it's a bad team. Would you say that's a dead team or a dying franchise? I don't think anybody would say that. They're obviously one of the most consistent and best teams in the league, right? And the same thing can be said for Call of Duty. 6 of the past 7 years, they have been the best-selling game, with the exception of the one year that they weren't the best-selling game. They came in second. It's a ridiculously popular franchise. They are thriving, guys. They are thriving, and they are just putting up great numbers year in and year out. And what I think is super interesting about that is they're actually changing around the franchise. They're changing and messing with the formula quite a bit over the course of the past couple of games. Of course, in Advanced Warfare, they definitely took some steps to change around the formula of Call of Duty a lot. They changed around the entire movement system. They added in exosuits. We had the idea of supply drops and weapon variants added to the game. It was a lot different than what we were used to from, say, Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 3. And then, of course, they continued that trend in Black Ops 3. They changed things around a bit. They changed the movement system. We can now run on walls. They added in an entirely new kill streak, kind of, with the idea of specialists and how that has completely changed around the formula of Call of Duty. And what's interesting about that is over the course of the past couple years, they've been making these changes. People have reacted both positively and negatively to these changes, and the people that were reacted negatively, they said, oh, COD's dying, they added exosuits, RIP COD, and still Advanced Warfare was the best-selling game of 2014, and it was still so popular, regardless of your own personal opinion, whether or not you liked or disliked Advanced Warfare, it was still so popular that it made its way into the best-selling list of 2015, even though it came out in 2014, right? So Advanced Warfare was a pretty popular game in terms of sales numbers. Black Ops 3 is the same way, best-selling game of 2015, and there's no doubt in my mind that when we get to sales figures for 2016, that it's probably going to be one of the top 10 best-selling games for that year as well. Just Call of Duty, even though they continue to change around the formula, it still remains a very popular game. And I think with some of the recent changes that they're making to the game, I think with the acquisition of MLG by Activision Blizzard, as well as the entire idea of ESPN Esports, which is a brand new thing, I think there's a lot of great things coming to Call of Duty here in the future, and I think it's only going to get better. And I see really no horizon for Call of Duty. I don't see an end to the success that this game is having, even though every single day I read comments from people, even just yesterday in Dear Nero. There was a question posted to me in yesterday's Dear Nero, my weekly Q&A, about the Call of Duty movie that's going to be coming out. And they said, well, maybe if the movie's bad, it's going to kill COD. It's like, you can't just, people need to stop acting as if Call of Duty is like this little flimsy piece of glass where if you accidentally touch it or something like that, or you mess with it at all, it's going to shatter. Like, that's not the case. Call of Duty is very well off. A bad movie's not going to hurt it. A couple bad games aren't going to hurt it. In my own personal opinion, I didn't think Advanced Warfare or Ghost were really the best Call of Duty games. I personally thought that Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, even Black Ops 3, I think these are all better games than what Advanced Warfare and Ghost were. But that's my own personal opinion, right? Even though I didn't personally think those games were that great, they still sold ridiculously well. And I think that's what people need to realize, is if just because they personally don't enjoy a game or they maybe don't like where the franchise is heading, doesn't mean that the mass majority as a whole necessarily agree with them. I think that's something people need to remember. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this video. Once again, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, best-selling game of 2015, and Call of Duty as a whole, one of the most popular gaming franchises today. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I hope you guys all found it helpful and informative, and if you did, drop me a rating. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.